Good to hear people say that you're a sheep, you're a snowflake. But the truth is, they're a sociopath. They're a controller, a manipulator, a failed parent, a failed employee. And in this climate that we're in the world, sheep and snowflake is a term used by those who have severe psychological issues, documented with mental health experts, documented with scientists, with doctors. These people listen to their gut, and their gut has gotten them to a place where they failed in their life. I know someone, a YouTuber, a woman, a young middle-aged woman, lives in her car, calls other people sheep, and she abandoned her son. I know mentally disturbed adult men, out of shape, ugly, contribute nothing to society, ex-felons, and when they're attacked, they call someone else a snowflake. These are the psychopaths, the manipulators, the lack of empathy, the lack of productivity in their life. The great deception of our generation is when sociopaths, starting with the President Donald Trump, decide that they can ignore science, ignore results of their life, and proclaim that anyone that does not submit to their will is sheep or snowflakes. But the truth is, all you need to do is look at the life of the person who is proclaiming the thing. Look at the life of Donald Trump. Been divorced 3 times, 2 times. Bankrupt 6 times. A legacy of recurring abusive bullying behavior. Look at the life of the sociopath on social media. Plastic surgery, failed relationships, violence, cops called. I have no criminal record. I have a positive work history. I have something to say tonight. And what I'm here to tell you is the real sheep, the real snowflakes are the controllers, the manipulators, the insecure. The true failures in society. That now they're caught in an algorithm of finding redemption through using the word sheep and snowflake. The sociopath has lost touch with reality. Mike, good to see you. The sociopath has lost touch with reality. They never had it. It's their last clinging to mental sanity. A sociopath clings to mental sanity by trying to justify their insane behavior. Oh, yeah. Trying to justify being a bad mother. Trying to justify being a bad husband. Trying to justify being a bad employee. Who are these people? These are the sociopaths. The sheep and the snowflakes are the ones carrying the burden of a positive and productive society. Now, certainly you have to think for yourself. Certainly you have to have a little bit of tough skin. Okay. But certainly you have to see through the bullshit of the sociopath. I like to call them psychopaths. Not much difference. Not much difference. It's just one's going to murder you in cold blood. The other one is going to make you suffer through abusive behavior your entire life. Take your choice. I had a great viewer, Carmen. Woman, she said, Sam, do you think there's more sociopaths than ever in society? I told her, no, I don't. I think the percentage of human population versus sociopaths are the same. Obviously now with communications through the internet and through the awareness of mental health and diagnosing what a certain personality type is, you can now say that there's more. But the reality is, if you look at history, human history, the nasty, abusive men, abusive women, manipulative, hurtful people, they've been there since Judas. They've been there since all the different days, okay? Mike Reed says 448 people watching Bob. His video is Job for Nomads again. Teach their own. I watched Bob for a while and I had to rebuke myself. Well, someone corrected me. I was going in his chats disagreeing with him and almost calling one of his viewers pretty much sheep. And so I had to get corrected. And she basically said, look, bottom line is if you don't like this, why are you here? And I admitted I was wrong. I shouldn't be here then if I don't like it. And I left, and if I do come back, I keep my mouth shut. Someone who isn't a sociopath is humble enough to say, you know what? I'm not right. A sociopath will never apologize, Donald Trump. Your abusive mother, your failed father, an employee that has a history of bad work history. They never apologize. They're sociopaths. Maybe they don't have the mental capacity. Maybe they don't have the mental capacity, or they don't have the character humility. It's amazing. You know, they say like everything they want peaceful. They don't want destruction in society. And I remember a guy, I think his name was MLK, Martin Luther King. He said, measure a person by the content of their character. How is the character of Donald Trump? Disgrace. Period. How is the character of a person who calls you a sheep or a snowflake? What's their life? What are they doing with their life? You know, Bob Wells, even though I disagree with him certain things, and you know, look, he's overall doing positive things. I'll never see him saying about hurting anyone or being unjust. So I have to respect that. And I had to correct my own behavior through humility and through self-awareness to say, you know what? I'm wrong here. I'm wrong here. I am wrong here. If you don't get to a place in your life, in your mental capacity and in your character reform, if you don't get a place in your spirit where you can say, you know, I got to correct some behavior. I have to reform. If you never commit, you're not Christian. I want you to take the cross and stab it in your eye because you're not a Christian. Okay. What you are is a sociopath. You're not Jewish, you're a sociopath. You're not Muslim, you're a sociopath. And there's plenty of people in religions that are not godly people. They're sociopaths. They're sociopaths. Lack of empathy, lack of humility, lack of productivity, lack of healthy relationships, sociopath. Now, there may be many sheep and snowflakes within that society. There's always going to be a certain group in society that are followers. There's one manager and there's probably 10 workers underneath that manager. The way society is structured, there's always going to be a smaller amount of leaders and more followers. That's not a bad thing. You know, not everyone is meant to be a leader. And when you're not a leader, you have to, as long as you're not doing something immoral or oppressive, you should do it. Most of my jobs, I've not been a manager. See, Donald Trump, his whole life is privilege. He's always been the head guy because he's inherited money. Never had to really work for someone else. The show The Apprentice was him hiring his family members, evaluating other people on their job. Mr. Wonderful, the prick from the show The Shark Tank, capitalist porn, from Canada, he tried to work once in an ice cream parlor, was fired. The rest of his life, he was a boss because his mother gave him money to start a business. That's why he's a sociopath. That's why he can get there. And even though we all love to watch it, he can tear the dreams down of someone because he never had to work. He never had to have a boss. You know, like, what's the other guy? Like, the guy from the UK that was on, like, America's Got Talent. He used to always degrade the people with low talent. Now, it's exciting to watch. But, guys, he's an ugly, out of shape, non-talented prick. Okay? So, yeah, he's entertaining to tell other people you suck, but he sucks. He's a sociopath. Who's that guy from America's Got Talent? He's a sociopath. Mr. Wonderful, sociopath. Donald Trump, sociopath. Every person online that says, oh, you're a snowflake, sociopath, and ex-con. Jesse O, day trader of the day. Y'all, these Shark Tank millionaires are selling programs on Instagram. Well, hey, I'm selling memberships for $9.99 a month. Okay? We all trying to hustle out there. Jesse O, thank you for being my first ever member. I appreciate you. Mike Reed. Yes, Simon Cowell. Good job. Damn it, Mike. Good to see you, Jesse. Good to see you, Mike. I appreciate you guys. I do. I don't take you for granted. Yeah, look, there's some girls, they know they got a time window. They're selling bikini pics on Instagram. They're personal trainers. Now, some of them, I give them credit. They've put a lot of work into getting certifications and understanding nutrition. They're personal trainers, and they should make their hustle. And they're a blessing to society. There's a lot of good people out there, even though they're selling shit. There's some good people out there. Okay. I love you too, Jesse O. You're a blessing. I'll never forget my first member. Thank you. And thank you, Mike. I don't forget either one of you. But I think the majority of people are good. The majority of people are not leaders. The people who are the most unproductive, the nastiest in society, they'll call you a sheep or a snowflake. They're ex-felons living in their truck in Texas. They can't even Uber. Yeah, I see you. They're a sociopath. Who do they align with? Other old sociopaths that will never question them. Birds of a feather flock together. Birds of a feather flock together. That bitch that destroyed your life, that was driving a white Audi. Did she hang out with other women of character? Nope. Nope. They were all bitches. The dude that destroyed your life, okay? Did he hang out with other positive, loving men? No. Hang out with other scumbags, drug addicts. Jim Cramer, who gave you bad trading advice. Was he there when you went bankrupt? No. He was doing mad money, trying to sell other sociopaths a way to trade. Jesse O. You mean Simon Cowell, yeah, that sociopath. From American Idol, yeah, that prick. That's exactly what I mean. Mike Reed. I remember someone pranked Simon with a demo tape from a real artist. I forget, but they were already famous and he called it trash. Yeah, good job, Mike. Well, let me tell you something right now. Simon, do you want to hear an album with Simon Cowell? Guys, I still, even though R. Kelly, I'll never excuse what he did. It was the disgrace what he did to those women. I'd rather listen to TP2 Strip for You than a song from Simon Cowell. Suddenly I feel like I wanna break loose, jump in my six and come and see you. Girl, I wanna do something that's brand new, and I got a kinky surprise for you. Simon Cowell ain't got shit on me. Okay. So what I could tell you is this, guys. Okay. Whether you're listening to TP2 or Simon Cowell tell some ugly fat chick that she can't sing, or Mr. Wonderful telling some middle-aged woman her cupcakes ain't gonna sell, or Donald Trump telling other people that their sheep after 6 of his casinos in Atlantic City are in rubble. So guys, look, most people are followers. But that's why it's more important than ever that there's good leaders. That's why it's more important than ever that you're never apathetic, that you're never silent. If the good people are silent, the sociopaths run shit. Okay? So sometimes you say, I ain't gonna say shit because I'm just going, you're smart enough to navigate the seas of life. Me too. I understand it. And I'm not saying getting involved in every petty thing. Don't get involved in every petty thing. Your life shouldn't look like, 50 Cent's Instagram. He get involved every petty shit. Okay. But look, there are times that are worth it to speak up. I appreciate that, Jesse O. I try to tell you guys, man. I dropped that mic. I appreciate that custom emoji. Pick your battles. Don't get caught in the mud. Meaning that, again, don't get caught in all the petty shit. But don't allow a sociopath to diagnose you or to call you a sheep or a snowflake. They're a bully. A sociopath equals bully. Anyone that has their membership that's able to type in a live feed, I would please request that you put sociopath =, all caps, bully. And the bullies will try to pick on sheep or call snowflakes, but again, they're ex-felons. Again, they're unrepentant. Again, they're failed parents. Again, they don't respect science. They don't respect doctors. They only listen to their gut. And their gut has gotten them in a mental institution. And then they say they were sexually abused. Come on, guys. Come on. How much bullshit do we have to listen to? Okay. So look, guys, if no one else will write it, I'll tattoo it on your forehead. A sociopath equals a bully. And there's a lot of sociopaths. Not more than 20, 100 years ago. The same percentage of human population. Why? I don't know why. I watch my man Eternal Inspired. He's a YouTuber. Check him out. Internally Inspired. He's a good guy. Got a nice voice, very calm, like Bob Ross. I'm a little bit more intense, but I respect him because he's positive. But his whole video is basically about, look, you want to know why the world's fucking falling apart? We eating animals. We're not respecting animals. Now, I'm with him a little bit, but I live in nature, and I've seen seagulls dive into the ocean and pick out a live fish and peck it to death. I've seen, okay, pelicans rip a fish right out of the sea and fucking peck it to death. Okay. I've seen spiders take a web and eat ants. Animals eat animals. I am plant-based and I believe in that, but don't be a sociopath. Meaning that if you spend enough time in nature, you'll see doves fight each other. You'll see pigeons fight each other. You know, you'll see dogs fight each other. Not because they're trained to fight, because everyone wants to ensure their survival. Who hides behind sociopaths? The insecure. Why is that tall blonde chick with fake tits dating that sociopath? Because she's insecure. That's why she got a boob job. That's true. I wish they had an emoji for a boob job. And some of you insecure men are the sociopaths. I wish they had an emoji for a penis pump. Yeah, put the what's that thing? A purple pear. Put that there. Okay, I'll do it myself. That's all right. Insecurity, lack of self-esteem, lack of breaking cycles. You don't want to break a cycle? Hey guys, look, you had a shitty childhood. Yeah, good, but you gotta break the cycle. Okay. Someone wrote on one of my videos today, I hate life video. I get a lot of views on that. A lot of people hate life. And they said, I hate life too. I hate people. I wish I was independently wealthy so that I could stick it to everyone. And obviously, look, I wish I was independently wealthy. That's why I'm doing side hustles, memberships, everything else. But I always tell you guys, look, I'm not getting independently wealthy because I want to stick it to people. I asked him, I said, if you were independently wealthy, wouldn't you try to help people that feel the same pain as you? In some way. I'm not saying be Mother Teresa, because Mother Teresa died very bitter and nasty. Why? Because she wasn't getting enough dick. That's true. Read Mother Teresa's last will and testament. Read her lost letters. She questioned her faith. She questioned life, and she said she basically lost hope. Why? Because she wasn't getting enough dick. She wasn't enjoying life, is what I'm trying to say. Some of you sociopaths only listen to certain words. Some of you sociopaths only call people sheep and snowflakes because you're uneducated and you got bad character. Yeah, my man Frank Breeze still listening. He gave me that, a penis pump emoji. It's like a purple thing. Frank Breeze coming in strong. Shout out to Upper East Side of Manhattan. Okay. Park Avenue. Okay. We're talking anywhere between, 60th Street to 100th. Okay. Frank don't walk his ass past 100th Street. Why? He don't want to go to Harlem. Okay. Frank, what's the furthest you walked uptown, man? Tell me the street. Hey, Frank, I want you to go for a walk. 145 in Lenox. Love to you, man. You get the peanut emoji too. I appreciate that, Frank. Love to you, brother. Thank you, Frank. So look, guys and girls and sociopaths, everyone in the yacht club tonight. Backwoods, my man from the Northwest. Backwoods, sometimes I have to correct myself and I have to humble myself because after watching a video, Nomadic Fanatic, I get ready to blast everyone that lives in the Northwest section of the country, and I get ready to want to say something negative about elevated pickup trucks. But I remember you, and it taught me a lesson. I say, Sam, you have to have humility, and you have to be fair. Why? Because the difference between a sociopath and a good person is they have a level of humility. I know I'm a little bit rough, but I admit, okay, that Backwoods has taught me that I need to, at times, temper my emotion and judgments and look at things from a more balanced perspective. Okay. Like I say, humans don't like balance. We don't like balanced diets. What we like is extreme. You like extreme Doritos. You like, extreme hot wings. We like extremes. We don't like balance, so it's not exciting. And that's why you're dating a sociopath, not a public school teacher. Ain't a big difference. Never date a public school teacher, in my opinion. There's a couple good ones. A couple of my friends married good public school teachers, but I gotta make that statement. Backwoods. Hey, brother, I love you, man. Most people are sheep. Don't say that, brother. That's sociopath talk. Straight uneducated. Well, not necessarily, because don't forget, most people are employees, not employers. Most people work for a manager. So just because someone is, if everyone just kind of did their own thing, God, world be chaos. You can't be a leader until you've been a follower. You can't be a good employee. You can't be a good employer until you be an employee. See, I think Donald Trump is a bad employer because he's never been an employee. I've been both. So that gives you empathy. A sociopath has no empathy. How can you manage someone when you've never had to be in a position where you have to answer to someone? So you'll be unfair in your opinion. You won't have empathy. He says, so many people not doing any real research about the virus, shaking my head, virus scam. Well, I know. I mean, we're probably on the opposite ends of the spectrum, which I guess is good a little bit because it keeps us balanced. I don't think the virus is as well. I will say this, the percentage of population it's affecting in the country is about 1%. Okay. If there's 350 million people in America, and that's about how many there are, there's about 3 million cases and about 150 deaths. So it's about 1% infected that are documented and about, 0.113 that are dead. However, if the growth rate is out of hand, the hospital system can become overwhelmed. Okay. And we're seeing that through capacity numbers. Okay. 80, 90% capacity. That's a trigger point. Okay. So one is Donald Trump called a national emergency. Two is they say he called it too late. Three is yes, there's some people that want to close society forever. That's wrong. I don't think we should have a mass closing unless we absolutely had to. I think you want to keep the flow of society. You want to keep things going. There's a balance somewhere. I don't think the virus is a scam because people are dying. Do I know people that have died? Yes. Okay. Not close friends, but I've known people that I actually know in real life that have died. Okay. So I still will admit, again, it's 1% of society. So I'm trying to be balanced in that thought. I live in society, so I'm not telling you stay in your house, and never go out. I live in society. I want society to be open. I don't believe we should do a mass closing unless it was an absolute emergency. I think the health of society, physically, mentally, and financially, keep it flowing. Okay. So, but we have to have a balance, okay, between the science and between the gut instinct and the realism of life. There has to be a balance. And that's the thing. Like, so when I hear like the counterbalance, like everyone following this virus and these protests are sheep, I saw a woman who was in a mental asylum abandon her child. She can't even hold a job. She was the one that said that. So sometimes I say to myself, well, is everyone else a sheep? No, she's a shitty person. Okay. So look, I don't agree with that. But I will say this. Yes, it can go too far the other way where everyone's trying to live in this safe bubble. That's not reality. You have to live life. Life itself is risky. So somewhere within that balance, we have to find the range of wisdom, of empathy, of general understanding to keep a level of unity. Love to you, man. Mike, I want to believe in the Lord. Sometimes I question it, but the Lord has done good things for me. And sometimes when I question, I said, I can't forget what he did do for me, or it, or she, or however you want to reference it. But I do believe that religion has been used to scam people. Like Backwoods says virus scam, I think religious scam. Most sociopaths were religious leaders. Moses killed 3,000 people, men, women, and child. I think he was a sociopath. If Moses was alive and you didn't agree with his 10 commandments and he killed 3,000 people, men, women, and children, would you say he's a sociopath? Yes. So again, I don't think there's more sociopaths now than in biblical times. I just think now we have mental awareness. You didn't even know what a sociopath was. So, but that's an interesting thing. Again, and I respect all positive people of religion. But again, I tell you right now, if you proclaim to be a Christian, okay, and you proclaim a Jesus lover, but you love Trump more than you love empathy, you love Trump, okay, more than you love your fellow man or woman, you're a piece of shit. You take that cross and you stab it in your eye because you fail as a parent and you fail in society. So I don't care if you're Christian, Jewish, Muslim, atheist, Buddhist, or like my man, internally inspired vegetarian. Guys, What are you doing with your life? Show me thy fruit. You say, Sam, you're barking at your phone in the car. Yeah, guys, I've worked my whole life. I got no criminal record. Okay. I've worked with people with criminal records. I've given jobs to people with criminal records. But I myself know that at any time, there's been times where I could have got pulled over and got a DWI. There's been times where I could have been shot and murdered. There's been times in my life it's only by the grace of God. And that's why I believe in God. And that's why I'm not too prideful. Now, I did the work of my life and I made some decisions to change my life, but there's also the grace of God element in that. Okay. And the grace of God has nothing to do with saying, oh, we have to disagree with Muslims, or we have to, whatever. You know, Jewish, Christian, it's all fucking bullshit. Okay, in my opinion. A lot of them are sociopaths. The guy who invented Scientology, sociopath. Look it up. Look it up. L. Ron Hubbard, he was a sociopath. Or a psychopath, whatever you want to call him, don't matter. What's the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath? Well, again, one will kill everyone in the house. The other one will probably only kill himself or kill 2 other people. I don't know. Let's continue. Mike says, I want to believe in the Lord, but the suffering of this world, man, I feel that. I wish if it were real, it ended. Now, that's an excellent comment. I feel the same way, and I think that's a godly comment. And I think people in the Bible wrote the same thing. In the book of Ecclesiastes, King Solomon said the same thing. It's all meaningless. So you're right on track with the biblical scholars. How I always try to sell myself on a better life is, well, I cannot have faith because I'm not clinging to a religion. I don't claim any religion at this point. None. Don't give a fuck. But I say to myself, having faith, does it make my life better or worse? And it makes my life better. So less suffering. However, I'm not religious and I still have genuine questions and concerns. So, but I still say I'm better to lean on the side of having a level of faith. Now, if someone wants to be atheists, do I say they're a sheep or a snowflake? No. If you're religious, most people call you a sheep or snowflake. And most people who are religious are calling other people sheep and snowflake. They're sociopaths. They're sociopaths. That's right. Let's continue. My man Frank Brees. I'm not leaving my area. Yeah, unless it's Southeast Florida. Well, you made the right decision. Frank, you're a smart guy. No wonder you're in fucking Upper East Side of Manhattan, man. Good job. But I do think to have empathy in life, you should visit a wide variety of communities. Low income, middle income, and high income, and then variation. If you never visit, and I'm talking about spend time, not take an Uber and drive through. I'm talking about walk through, spend time, form relationships in all different high end, low end, and middle end. Why? Because that's what will give you empathy. If you don't, the news or your favorite leader or whoever, you're going to be a sheep. So guys, if you have not spent time in a bad neighborhood, and I'm talking about time. If you have not spent time in a middle-class neighborhood, if you have not spent time in a rich neighborhood, if you have not spent adequate time in these different environments, you're a sociopath. Why? Well, no, you're a sheep. You're a sheep. Because you're just following what you know. You're not going outside of what you don't know. Let's continue. Backwoods, my man. Nomadic Fanatic gives this place a bad vibe. I hate to say it, bad energy, but I want not to be judgmental, but I don't like them. I just love lifted vehicles. I'm not mad at you, brother. I love you. Because I live in the country. I hear you. Ride quads, I have to respect that. And I have been in the country, and there are some good people doing that. Go wheeling, I respect you. Go camping, I love that. Fishing, I love you, man. I'm not mad at you, brother. You love the Northwest. I love you, Backwoods. God bless you, man. Keep doing you, man. That's what I tell you. Backwoods. The people they say are dying from the virus is straight life, brother. Keeping it real, probably shouldn't have said anything. No, it's okay. I want you to feel safe. So let's continue. But they are straight manipulating the whole world. There's a balance of thought there. One world, new world order. One world. It's all possible. So, but what I say to that is I do not devalue what you said and I do not mock what you said. The only balance to that is, would we be better if we weren't a one world? If we were all isolated? You know, like it's when we isolated from Afghanistan, when we left Afghanistan after we beat the Russians back and we left there, we pulled back, that's when it became a melting bed for terrorism. Okay, after World War I, when everyone abandoned Germany, that became a melting pot for the rise of Hitler and everything else. So when you abandon different parts and you don't pay attention, I'm not saying you should occupy them, but what I'm saying, when you just withdraw, then what you do is you create a breeding ground for vengeance. So everyone should have the independence. At the same time, all of us as human race, man, woman, child, religious, non-religious, Russian, German, Pakistani, Northwest, East-West, we're all the human race, okay? And we all need to be able to be ourselves. We're all not going to get along. We're all not going to get along. But a sociopath does not give other people the space to decide their own life. Okay. Or he manipulates people of less intelligence to get his way or her way. A manipulator is a huge characteristic of a sociopath. So guys, look, if we say that we want a world where we solely judge people by the content of their character, a manipulator should never be honored. Period. Okay. And so now you say to me, Sam, everyone's a manipulator. That's a fair point. Everyone has an agenda. That's a fair point. And that's what makes it tough. And that's back to Mike Reed's point that, it's a lot of suffering. But just try to make your life as best you can. The people they say are dying from this virus, I read that, I'm sorry. Backwards. Everyone has an opinion. That's true. Mike, I have talked with plenty of conservatives that wish there was another choice in this election. Well, that's a fair point. I do agree that Joe Biden is not a good choice. I do agree that Donald Trump is a worse choice. I felt the same way about Hillary. I didn't love Hillary, but I just thought she was a better choice than Trump. And when Trump got in, I said, look, as long as he keeps it peaceful, I don't give a fuck. But guys, I tried to keep my mouth shut as much as I could, but more and more, he just, I can never turn away from how he has handled certain issues and what he was willing to do and say. Never. Because it's a horrible thing to be silent and allow someone like Trump to lead. I agree that Hillary had her own manipulative ways, but I still think she was a better human being, and I think she would have been a better president. And I still think the people that will prop Joe Biden up will be better. But look, to me, worst case scenario, if Trump gets elected, just like when Bush Jr. got elected the second time, he'll destroy America. He won't destroy it, but it'll be totally garbage. And then you're going to get AOC in 2024. And I'd rather have that because that's a better leader than Joe Biden. But either way, life goes on. Now, I know some people may disagree with me, but again, this is my opinions. Backwards. In life, all I do is work hard. There you go. Educate myself, mind my business. Well, all those things are wisdom. Backwards. Zero drama zone. Well, that's 100% emoji wisdom. Because what I can tell you is drama destroy your life. What I can tell you is some people voted for Trump just for drama. It was no drama Obama. Remember, that's what they used to call Obama. He was no drama. But people didn't like that. So you got to be a little bit more excited. I remember my father said Obama's got to be a little bit more fired up. He's got to tell people how it is. Got to go crazy. Trump did that. We're more divided than ever. We had more riots under Trump. So if you say, Sam, Barack Obama divided us, we had more riots under Trump, more issues, more problems. We had more people unemployed under Trump. Those are all facts. We had more government debt, more corporate socialism under Trump. All facts. So if we're measuring people solely by their resume, Donald Trump compared to Barack Obama is a complete failure. Period. Because if we're going to measure it by that, right? Are we going to measure it by the stock market? Well, when Barack Obama tripled the stock market, did Donald Trump say that was a good job? No, he said, let me see your birth certificate. When we asked Donald Trump, let us see your tax returns, he said, can't do that. Guys, he's a sociopath. Period. I will never excuse the disrespect he's shown and then he expects. I'll never excuse it. I'll never be silent. I'll never let someone who failed as a mother, failed as an employee, tell other people they're sheep and snowflakes when they're a sociopath, they voted for a sociopath, and their own children don't respect them. And someone who didn't vote for them is going to have to take care of them when they're in a nursing home. I was thinking about Jay Bird today. She's a viewer, not a member. And I'm not going to say it because not about her. She's a caretaker too in Florida, and she's a great person. She's taking care of other people that their own family don't want to take care of them. And it's like, Jay Bird's positive. I was going to say do something negative to the other person, but that's not right for me to say, so I don't want to say it. Sometimes in life you have to catch yourself, not just splat out on Twitter. There's times in my life where I could say something really vicious, and I say a lot of things straight up, but I pull myself back because it's not right. Okay? You know, like I don't want to tell Jay Bird not to help the Trumper who she's got to take care of. That's not right. You know, I was going to tell, like, when the Trumper is hitting the help nurse sign, she should just not go. I'm not going to say that because that's not right. But in your mind, sometimes you feel that way, but you have to have discipline to your feelings and be a good person as best you can. All of us, including me, have our issues. Even Jesus said, I'm not perfect. Why do you call me perfect? So that's what I say, backwards. What I've learned from you, Sammy, is to avoid conflict. Well, if that's all I taught you, that's the best lesson ever. Be positive and move forward. Well, damn it, you got all the lessons I got to teach. Now you're ready to be your own person. And so backwoods, what I tell everyone, I don't want you guys to blindly follow me. I don't want you to be sheep. I want you to do you. And I want you to go out there, live your life, avoid conflict, speak up when you need to. But you got to do you. You got to mind your business and only get involved if it's an emergency. So I think that message is clear in my 2,000 videos. Now, I mean, sometimes I have my certain videos about certain things, there's certain mindset. But overall, guys, look, it's me trying to pull the best out of my life, okay? And creating boundaries between me and the sociopaths. If another thing, you got to have boundaries. I'll never talk to my father again. I don't give a shit. I'll never talk to certain sociopaths again. I don't give a shit. And I really gave it a lot of consideration, a lot, because I believe in forgiveness, grace, but after doing that so many times and people being themselves, you have to make an executive decision. I'm not trying to keep them out of heaven. Even though, today I was walking the beach, I had a vision of me kicking Donald Trump right in the lake of fire. I did. I'm not going to lie to you. But we have to push forward, guys. We have to have boundaries. And we have to be leaders through our example more than anything else, okay? And so the example in Donald Trump's life was he was never a good person, okay? He never fought for health care for children. Hillary Clinton did. He never stayed married to one person. Hillary Clinton did. You say, Sam, Hillary Clinton, she got cheated on. Yes, she stayed with her husband. I don't even think she should have, but she did. Donald Trump got married 3 times. Donald Trump had an affair with Stormy Daniels when Melania was pregnant. Guys, what are we measuring on? What are we measuring on? So don't let sociopaths, sociopaths manipulate the conversation. You think Hillary's the devil when the devil convinced you that he's a leader. Now, fuck that, man. Fuck that. Let's continue. Backwards. I've always come back here to support your channel because you deserve it, brother. Well, I appreciate that, but I always want you to have the freedom to do you. Because, I always take the word deserve lightly, because in life, sometimes we get what we don't deserve and what we do. And it is by the grace of God, the universe, whatever you believe in. So I just try to show up to my life. I try to be consistent, do what I need to do. I don't always like to do it. And I just try to have my boundaries and move forward. I appreciate those who support me along my journey. However, no one owes me anything. I'm not crying the blues, and I'm not putting a demand or an expectation on anyone. I'm out here just trying to do what I can to push forward and have my own goals. But I want you guys and girls to have your own goals. And I want you to have your own life. Because I'm not trying to manipulate people. I'm just trying to do me. Bottom line, thank you, Mike. The nomad you were talking about is total shit. Well, if me and you talking about the same person, I'll love to you, brother. I couldn't watch her. I think we are. Because she refuses to get a grip. I think we're on the same page. She went off into the woods to stop drinking. She needs professional help. Well, maybe we're not. I don't know if I saw that episode. I don't want to say her name, but they both could be sociopaths, even if we're talking about different people. I think we're talking about different people, but yeah, because I think I saw who you're talking about on Camo Dave. I'm talking about a different person, but similar mindset. You know, the person I'm talking about, they abandoned their son and they went to live in their car and go to California. It's like, and that's fine because maybe they were in a mental institution. But then they started to tell other people they're sheep for believing in the virus and believing in the protest. Well, before you can do that, why don't you raise your son? Why don't you hold down a job? Before you call someone else a sheep or a snowflake, why don't you fucking get your shit together? You sociopath? You sociopath. That's what you are. Some people have been clinically diagnosed sociopath. Some people in Texas retired who don't respect science. Their own son and their own grandchildren don't want to come see them. Why? Because they know they ain't shit. So you don't have to wear a mask. You can say, look, I'm from Texas. I don't wear masks. You don't have to. There's a reason, though, your own son don't want to fuck with you. Okay? There's a reason. Okay? Never forget it. Fucking sociopath. But even sociopaths have taught me great things. I know pastors that were sociopaths taught me something. I learned things from Donald Trump. I think he's a sociopath. I've learned things from people online I think are sociopaths. I've learned things from my father. I think he has sociopathic tendencies. So I don't think just because someone's a sociopath doesn't mean you can't learn from them. L. Ron Hubbard, the person who created Scientology, a lot of people learn from him. Moses, I think a lot of people learn from him. But I also learned the bad parts. Edith, I saw you join up. Thank you. Do not trust what you read, but educate yourself. I agree. And at some point, if you educate yourself, you have to trust what you read. That's the thing that keeps you humble. Because if you say that you aren't going to believe anything you read, then it's like, how are you going to educate yourself? Only off your gut. If you only listen to your gut instinct, you're going to be mentally insane. Because you're going to think you're God. You're going to have a God complex. So what you need to do is cross-reference material, have humility that you could be wrong, and go by the general principles of not manipulating people, being productive, positive, and self-correcting. Education is being productive, positive, self-correcting, and having boundaries. Fuck your education, fuck the literature, but fuck just listening to your gut instinct. Because if you look back at every sociopath, they have one trait. Their gut instinct is above every other piece of data out there. And your gut instinct will tell you a lot. Don't neglect that. But it won't tell you everything. I had a great hero of mine, Ultimate Warrior. He was a wrestler. He did a lot of motivational speaking at the end of his life and helped me get me back in shape. But he would often listen to his gut instinct about working out, and he would neglect the doctors. He ended up having a heart attack because he died of steroid abuse. He didn't listen to the doctors. He listened to his gut. He died in his 50s. Hulk Hogan used to say he was an all-American Christian. Turns out, and he used to tell people take their vitamins and say their prayers. He was having threesomes with his wife, sharing his wife, doing coke and steroids. So guys, you can't just listen to your ego. You can't just listen to your gut. Your gut is your ego. You have to check yourself. Like I said, I was trolling Bob Wells. I had to check myself. If you think you're above correction, you're a sociopath. You have no humility. Now, the hard part is you may have a lot of right. You may have a lot of truth within you. But if you think you have all the answers, you think you're God. What comes before the fall? If you're Christian, what comes before the fall? Pride. Or even if you're Jewish or whatever, pride comes before the fall. Who is prideful? And there's your answer. Who's a sociopath? Who's egotistical? There's your answer. Now, you need certain qualities where you have a lot of self-confidence to be successful. But success cannot be measured just through obtaining. It has to be through a positive impact in the lives of those you come across. Backwoods. Yeah, I got into an argument with Popular Nomad here and had to block him. Well, have your boundaries. There's nothing wrong with that, brother. You have to do what's best for you. Because you have to, when you're in a very emotional state, you have to retreat to your safe place, reevaluate your life, including evaluation of what you did, and then figure out where to go next. That's part of healing and growth. Good job. Edith, true. Thank you, Edith. Love to you, and thank you for your membership. I appreciate you joining. Thank you, and thank you for that tip. Mike Reed, I remember my father had a problem with Obama having his head up high. I told him, well, he is the president of the United States. He is fucking better keep his head up high. Yeah, it's a balance, and I didn't agree with Obama on everything. And I think some things he did wrong, some things he didn't step up. I don't think any political or religious leader is above correction. But I think, look, Trump has just been a disgrace. I really do. I think some things he's very good on where he knows how to play the system. But if Obama was doing what he just did the last 4 years, he would have done more than ask for Barack Obama's birth certificate. If Barack Obama was sitting here with 150,000 Americans dead, 2 million infected, 7 trillion pumped into the stock market, 40 million Americans laid off, Barack Obama would have been crucified. Part of racism still exists. There's no doubt about it. No doubt. Not everyone is racist, though. There's no doubt about that either. But there's also a generational shift. You have to remember, guys, Donald Trump and everyone in their 70s, when they were in their 20s, there was still segregation. I think about when I was in my 20s, I was partying with Indian people, black people, Asian people. You know, I was in a mixed environment. I wasn't in a rural country. I wasn't in a all-white restaurant. When Donald Trump was 20, there was still segregation. That generation is dying. There is a generational shift. There is a new America. And some people don't want to let go. Christopher Columbus was a murderer. He was a sociopath. If you look at the American history of Christopher Columbus, he came to America. And if any Native American did not want to convert to Christianity, he slaughtered them. He committed Sharia law. He was a sociopath. So if you have a problem with taking down those statues, are you a sociopath? You know, some people are. Yeah. You're not a sheep or a snowflake. They're a sociopath. They call you a sheep and a snowflake, but they proclaim they're a Christian. And they worship murderers. They'll never call Moses out that he killed 3,000 people, men, women, and children. They'll never call Christopher Columbus out that he was a Christian and slaughtered Native Americans. They'll never check. They'll never have enough humility. They're pieces of shit. Burn in a lake of fire. You and your service dog. Well, I'll let the service dog out because I don't want to see that happen. Service dog didn't have a choice. You do. Let's continue. Edith, honestly, I don't think many even listen to themselves these days, but to everyone else, seriously, the mass is becoming mindless drones. Well, again, there's always one manager and 10 workers. There's not 10 managers and one worker. So I've been an employee and an employer. So most people who say they're blind sheep, they're not working. They're sociopaths. They're clinically diagnosed. They can't be in the workforce because they get too stressed out and they quit. They can't hold the job. So guys, I've held a job since 17. And what I can tell you is most people aren't mindless. Most people are working. Most sociopaths are online saying everyone else is blind sheep. That's truth. Now they just have social media. They weren't doing shit. They weren't doing shit before the coronavirus. They were sociopaths. So the coronavirus is not a conspiracy. What is the truth is they haven't been productive in 17 years. They're worse than sheep and snowflakes. They're sociopaths. That's true. Edith, can you elaborate on Bob Wells? One of the reasons I want to car camp in my Renegade originated from him, but lead me to your videos. Well, I will say Bob Wells has shared more nomad information than me in many ways. So I have to acknowledge that I think he has contributed in a positive informational way to the nomadic community. There's been times I just had personal disagreements about how he went on delivering his message and delivering his message. And that's why I had to humbly correct myself and say I was wrong. Because I can't say that I honestly seen videos where he said something where he was trying to get someone to do a negative, nasty thing or trying to manipulate others. I think the nonprofit, I don't want to say it's a scam because, look, every business is a scam to a certain extent. And I had a nonprofit, so I kind of know what it is. I can't say anything negative. Because I think he's doing many things positive and some more than me. So I just may have personal disagreements with him or feel that sometimes he glorifies certain things, but I have seen him do videos that show he's not glorifying it. So I have to look at all his videos. He's got thousands of videos within the context of his message. And if I'm honest, based on what I've seen, I can't really say anything negative about him. I actually have to apologize for some times that I've been unfair in my evaluation of him, and I've probably been worse than him. So I really would say that with everyone, including me, you can't take everything what they say and apply it to your life. You have to listen to the context of someone's message in the overall amount of videos or books that they read. Just like you were saying, like you have to educate yourself. So you have to look at someone's body of work. You have to cross-reference it with other information. And then you as an individual, with your own fingerprint, different than your mother's and everyone else in this world, you have to figure out kind of what works for you and then take accountability for it, yes or no. So I think if you look at Bob Wells, if you look at me, if you look at Donald Trump, if you look at anyone, that's how you should look at it. That look at their body of work, cross-reference it, honestly evaluate yourself. Sometimes you'll be wrong. There's been times I've been wrong. A sociopath will never admit that they were wrong. They always agree with their gut. And then you just move forward as best you can. And this world's imperfect, so you're going to make mistakes. I hope that answer helped you. And good question. Backwards. Most people are slaves that have jobs that never get ahead. Job just over broke. Well, in my opinion, I would say no. If I didn't have a job, I would be broke. The most money I ever made was having a job. The most money I lost was trying to go into business for myself. That's my experience. I'm not saying my experience applies to everyone, but I thank God for a job. It's the only thing that's given me independence in life. So, guys, there's nothing wrong with working for your money. Challenger the welder. He's a construction worker trying to make money on his stock. Let's see what his stock said. Stock took a hit this week. I was watching it the other day. Still up 100%. He's holding. I'm going to look at it. It's W. Shout out to you, Challenger. I'm at WHKS, right? Yeah, I checked out the other day. It went up. Oh, it's down to 16. Oh, it's the sign of the beast. 1666. Oh, man, you better be careful, man. Look. Shit. Can you see that? 1666. That's a sign of the beast, man. Oh, shit. Now, I ain't going to tell you to sell, and I ain't going to tell you to buy. Everyone's got to make their own investments. Man, that shit was at like $21 and change last week. Now, you're still up 100%, but I know you said you were holding to $100 a share. I lost more money in stocks than I ever made having a job. You will be a slave to the stock market, and a job will give you freedom. That's true. Now, I'm not going to say I still don't play in stocks, but it's a very small percentage, and I get the majority of my income through working and side hustles. Stocks are risky, man. And you see the sign of the beast? That's what it is, man. So never forget that, man. Good comment, man. I'm praying for you, though. Don't buy or sell based on my opinions. Everyone has to make their own decisions. This is why I tell everyone when it comes to investments. Get a year's worth of expenses in a savings account, not your brokerage account, not your checking account. Never touch your savings account unless it's an absolute emergency. Pay off your debt. Then, as long as you have a job or other source of income, if you want to put a certain percentage, I would say about 25% or so of your net worth into a stock or an investment, God bless. But you have to accept that it may not do anything or lose money. Let's go back to live comments. Edith, I wrote grants for a nonprofit. Well, good for you. I wasn't good at that. Okay, so you get what I'm saying. Excellent comment. That is a very meticulous process. Now, writing grants or other things like that, I'm sure it's like being a project manager. Once you write a couple grants, you probably have a template on how you submit it to the government. And then with every new grant, you kind of probably just change certain things within the template to tailor fit the request of the new grant. But I never got into that far of it. I just kind of did general donations, and I actually ended up giving more to my nonprofit than anyone else. And I was like, this is a hopeless cause. I realized that only the Federal Reserve that prints money can actually impact poverty and the destitute. Only the Federal Reserve. And that's why when the stock market goes down, they don't go to nonprofits, they go to the Federal Reserve. When the stock market went down in March and April, what they did was they went to the government, not the free market. They went to the government. They went to Donald Trump. They went to Steven Mnuchin, who's an ex-CEO, hedge fund manager. And they asked them for corporate welfare, corporate socialism. When you ask for it, you're destroying America. When AOC asked for social reform, she's destroying America. When Donald Trump gives the stock market $7 trillion, he's a great free market capitalist. Guys, it's a scam. And the Federal Reserve, they're not wrong. Thank God for the Federal Reserve. Without the Federal Reserve, we would all be farmers. We would all be destitute, depending on barter and trade. The Federal Reserve is a blessing, but it's giving more share to the corporate and elite versus the regular people. And we're creating an imbalance in society. The wealth gap has never been bigger since the Great Depression. When you have a huge inequality within the system, you have chaos, you have unrest, you have problems. Because society is just like your body. When your body is out of balance, when you're eating too much protein, when you're eating too much cholesterol, when you're eating too much sugar, your body will eventually violently react. Okay? So if we refuse to address the structural inequalities in society, just like your body, eventually there is civil unrest. You need to have a balance in society, okay? And right now you're out of balance, okay? And so look, guys, I'm a survivor, but I am an understander of how the system works, your body and society. And even though I know balance is not exciting, no one wants to have a balanced portfolio. Like Challenger the welder, you're working as a pipe fitter. You want to put all of your net worth into the stock market, into WKH stock. And all of a sudden you thought you were going to retire in 2 years. Now you may lose all your money. You may be working on a construction site till you're 72. Okay? Because now your stock is at 6666. And you're reading you say, oh shit. Now don't sell it and then it go up to 100 and you blame me. However, if you hold it and it goes down to 6 cents, don't blame me either. Why? Each person has to take accountability for their life. And what I can tell you guys, gotta be careful, man, because this world, very slippery slope. Love to eat backwards. It's a sad world. Everything is a scam. Somewhat true, but I will say this. If I'm honest, I truly believe that society is better today in 2020, even with the coronavirus, even with the civil unrest. It's better today than it was in 1920. In 1920, okay, there was mass poverty. In 1920, there was mass segregation, still slaves even. So guys, if we look at 100 years, we're better. Are we where we need to be? No, we need to be better. If we're the wealthiest country in the world, if we say we're the wealthiest country in the world, why aren't its citizens treated like the wealthiest? Why doesn't everyone have health care? If every other first world country has health care, why is America not? We should be better. We're not leading. We're giving corporate socialism, and we're shaming the regular people who want social reform. Guys, why did we build up a military but deplete our healthcare system? Why do we take away from education and put money into arming the cops? Do we want an undereducated, over-militarized society? It's out of balance. Who should be paid more? The teacher or the tyrant? Should the CEO of Walmart make 1,000 times more than the essential worker selling you groceries? Should the Walmart stock that gets subsidized through the Federal Reserve and the bond market, Should they give a dividend to every private shareholder when we socialize their losses? Or should a percentage of all revenues traded on the publicly traded market, should a percentage of each year go to the citizens? It should, just like in Alaska, where they have the petroleum dividend, where a percentage of the oil profits go to the citizens, and not enough. Guys, we're going to get there. The problem is the system's always a day late and a dollar short. However, the system has reformed and it will reform. We're better in 2020 than we are in 1920. So I have hope. Okay? I have hope. I have encouragement. I have optimism. Now, I'm not going to I also have, I'm also like, these are sociopaths we're dealing with. It's never going to change. I have both. I'm human. But I'm going to take a hydration break. We're going to continue to read live comments. Thank you to all my members. Thank you, Edith, new member, Challenger, the Welder, Mike Reed, Frank Breeze, Jesse O, Backwoods, Savats in the building. Shout out to my truck drivers, everyone. Thank you. Let's continue to read. That was a good one. Welder. Mike Reed, yeah, 666. It's crazy. But that's happened to me before, too. So, yeah, it's crazy, Mike. I love you, man. Edith, not everything is a scam. That's true. You're correct, Edith. But in this world, it's important to be educated. You are also correct. And be aware. Yeah, you are right. Despite what others say, you are correct. Excellent comment. I agree with that, Edith. Edith, yep, good job. Jesse O. Jesse O, guy. Jesse O has a lot to offer to the conversation when it comes to investments. Why? Because she's a day trader. Now, she's took her hits, just like Dave Ramsey went bankrupt, just like Donald Trump went bankrupt. Jesse O, and I'm not saying this to shame her, I'm saying to learn from her, because I would have went bankrupt too if I was all in on the stock market and I didn't have a job. Like I know Backwoods said you'll be slave to a job, but guys, if I didn't have a job, I'd be bankrupt. So Jesse O had a capital fund where she would invest other people's money. She blew out a couple brokerage accounts and she went bankrupt, and now she's trading her own money. Jim Cramer was living in his car in Los Angeles. He blew out a couple brokerage accounts. He lost $250,000, $250,000, and then he basically became a TV personality and worked for Goldman Sachs. So Edith, I read that. Jesse O says, yeah, Challenger. Dude, we will need a lot of balls to hold. That is a deep retracement. You see, watching that. There's two ways people look at stocks. One is their PE ratios, their price to earnings ratios, which is also affected by the Federal Reserve, because an interest rate, if it's at zero, it makes PE ratios go up or make them grow more. If the interest rates go up by the Federal Reserve, PE ratios go down. So, or the other way to look at it is if you're day trading or swing trading, you're just looking at the chart. You don't care what the company does long-term profit-wise. You just care about the charts. And that's what Jesse O was referring to. The retracement in the chart for day trading, not for investing. Now, Challenger, the Welder, I think he's trying to hold that until it gets to 100. Now, he's trying to make like 10,000 return. He already made 100% return. What's a good return? Anything over 10%. 100% is great. However, it can go to 1,000%. Like, you can look at Tesla and all these other things, but there's no guarantees. Jesse O says, yeah, that retracement, you never hold parabolic moves in stocks. Yeah, but he's not day trading it, Jesse O. He's holding it long term, so it's a different way to invest, you know what I mean? So we need more education, only way out. It's a balance, but I'll tell you right now, I have some sociopaths in my family. They went to the same public schools as me, and you cannot educate a fool. Meaning that some of it's not education, some of it's character. There's two parts of a human. Education and character. Some people are ignorant and they need to be educated. Some people have character flaws and education cannot correct their pride, their dysfunction. There's two parts of a human, education and character. So you gotta be careful. Let's continue. Edith, yeah, I was working grants for immigrants and struggling as a taxpayer. Well, I appreciate your perspective in the live chat. Thank you, Savat. All of my friends stopped self-educating after high school. Well, that's key. So same thing with me. And the first thing you have to do when you see you're growing apart from friends is grow apart. Allow yourself to grow apart. You're not better than them, but you have to separate to grow yourself. You're not growing up if you're not growing apart. Number two is, I graduated high school and then I went to a 5-year trade school. Then I went to another 3 years of self-education to get my master's certification. What I could tell you is this: I learned more self-educating online and learning with others than I ever did in a structured school system, and doing and working. A lot of people love to get a certification, but they don't work. Sometimes people say, Sam, should I go back to college to get another degree? I said, you haven't worked yet. Why don't you work in that field for about 5 years and see if you like it? Guys, so yes, but through the internet, if you use the internet as a tool to educate, you can. If you use the internet as an avenue to call peeps sheep and snowflakes, you're a sociopath. And there's a lot of people doing that. Edith, I love you. I love you too. Thank you, Edith. The key is education, others to plan for the same, I think. Well, like I say, there's some part of people that are just always assholes. I remember Donald Trump got interviewed, and he said when he was young, his parents put him in a boarding school because he was an asshole. And he said, well, what happened? Did that change it? He goes, no, I'm still an asshole. Donald Trump is a self-admitted asshole. There are certain people that have certain characteristics, no matter how much education, it may actually make them more prideful. So part of life is not just education, it's character. I know some people, they have no education. They sell hot dogs at a food stand, but they are high character people, okay? So it's a balance of thought, okay? Good job. All right, I think I read all the live comments. I think I delivered the message I was looking to deliver. I want to thank each and every viewer, whether you're a member or not. Thank you. Thank you to all my members. I don't take you for granted. Thank you to Challenger the Welder. I wish you luck on your investments. I want you to succeed in a healthy, sustainable way. Thank you guys for watching. God bless.